Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties because it's cold out there today. It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach? Not hardly. That's right, woodchuck chuckers, it's Groundhog Day. Wait, don't quit watching the video. It will present the former Chestnut exit ramps as advertised. But first, for context, I want to show you where they were my whole life. Approached from eastbound I-64, or Highway 40 as the locals still call it, the Chestnut Street exit ramps and their related Pine Street entrance ramps were a unique, reutilized piece of infrastructure built for an inner-city parkway proposal that never happened back in the 1950s or 60s. Since that byway never manifested, these ramps were integrated into Highway 40 access, which is why their design looks like the afterthought they were. But they were always the fun favorite for reasons that should become apparent, and often worth the sludge through a few extra city blocks just to satisfyingly slingshot onto the highway freely, in times other out-of-downtown highway accesses were congested and claustrophobic. Here's the all-new 22nd Street Bridge, which didn't exist 5 years ago, as neither did this bit of Clark Avenue connecting to 21st. You'll see how comprehensive and radical the changes were to this inefficiently used chunk of West Downtown, and now I imagine it more closely resembles how the street grid was laid out a century ago. This film hopes to illustratively document this major St. Louis infrastructure change in accommodation with parking a shiny new stadium on a really sad beaten cornucopia of concrete and car corrals. Chronicling 6 points in time in progressively older order, some of these scenes appear in previous films, and some aren't the best camera work, as they dealt with fence interference. Fence interference? Can I just go ahead and call it that from now on? Anyway, let's start with the first of two views from this parking garage and look at some fancy new soccer fields. Note Highway 40, or I-64 for the rest of you, off in the background to the south, as well as the relation to the stadium and, of course, Union Station. Northbound 20th at Chestnut looking north and west where the old ramps that would have cut through this space but not time of the stadium used to terminate. This here is the same spot in June 2022 during construction. Going back to November 2020, here is a good pre-stadium obstructed view of the road network transformation, looking south with Market Street going across there. The view looking west from 3 months before that, where Pine Street continued and the highway ramps ended as we had traveled south on 20th Street back to the garage for that second pre-soccer field perspective. A building can be photographed more or less the same for decades, but a most arguable, important historic scene like this lasts only a few weeks at best. Just 2 months after closure, it appears the main ramps are already taken out, except for this disused bit of bridge that once served as an exit ramp to Market Street from westbound Highway 40, which was shut down long before this whole project started, probably due to safety and expense. Later, there's a glimpse of an old one-way sign for it that they never bothered to take down. This is of course looking south again, and the entrance ramp to both East and West 40 was just below here, with the eastbound only exit ramps on the other side of this, again, earlier decommissioned 40 West 2200 Market Street exit, not to be confused with the Market Street 3000 West exit, which still exists. Looking north, where the stadium sits in 2025, but 5 years earlier. And now for the piece de resistance. From all the way back on February 2nd, 2020, Groundhog Day, a Sunday. To be published on Groundhog Day exactly 5 years later, which interestingly is also a Sunday thanks to 2 leap years, I finally present to you one last race through my favorite, if decrepit, and neglected freeway easement. Who would have thought we'd see the day they took them away and actually replaced them with something far more impressive and inspiring? It's surreal for me to see this old environment again in these scenes that didn't change for at least 30 years and are almost unrecognizable today. But that's one part of the call to make films and videos. Thank you for watching.